So I'm going to answer in a kind of a strange way. So I really hate biking. Fun
Okay.
fact. And I hate biking because, or hate is a strong word, dislike it
Hmm.
because I had a back injury and a knee injury when I was playing soccer in high school. And my rehabilitation was partially to do like cycling.
Hmm.
I had really bad memories of it. And I didn't take the therapy seriously. And through the training you've given me and like how far I've come with my body, I got on a bike the other day for 30 minutes and I didn't hate it to the point where I'm going to go do another like workout later today.
You're going to intentionally go get on a bike that you used to hate.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
Okay.
Like I have those muscles now, so it didn't hurt.
Yeah, you have I mean, you have the inside of your quads are probably a little bit stronger than they were when we started.
Yeah.
Your hips are probably also a little bit more strong, adductors and abductors, and that will make biking way more enjoyable than it is if you're not strong in your legs.
Yeah. And I noticed like, I mean, when I first started with you, I
Mhm.
like, I think I told you like I had really bad inflammation in my hips, like horrible inflammation. And it's been pretty low. So
Right on.
yeah.
So one thing that you would love to see that we didn't do, that we didn't have, that wasn't a part of it. What do you think?
Um, that's a really good question.
Obviously, within the confines of us being remote, like because there's tons of things that you could say. Oh, I love this if we were in person.
I
Different
love
story.
um that's a really good question. I don't know anything that's like reasonable. Like I think I know like through this I was really busy and I had a lot of life changes and sometimes if you were just like hey Jess go make this recipe I would or like that was like pretty easy I would have been like oh okay like instead of like me having to like go in there and like make a bunch of decisions but like that's just me personally because like I like get overloaded sometimes I'm trying to think but that's like stupid that's not even like a big change I don't know. You really have made all the changes throughout me being here. Like you, those forums were an amazing improvement. The video feedback has been an
Going
amazing.
from text to video feedback instead.
And like showing the graphs, just like showing me how intentional and like why like impactful it is for me to be putting in that data and like
Mhm.
um I think those are like the big measurables that like you've already included. Um and like I've always been comfortable to be like, hey, I want to get stronger here. Hey, I've
Mhm.
noticed here pain. And like you've always adjusted my workouts. So I don't say keep doing what feels right to you and you're listening to your clientele pretty well.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to open that up like completely unfettered. I mean, I've gone through the hundreds of form submissions that I've had, even since I've just updated the form to what it is now. And I mean, a lot of things are things that combated in different ways, but nothing like glaring. I mean, outside of someone being like, yo, I wish we were in person. I'm like, cool, we can be, but I mean, that's a different like that. That's not $100 a week if you want to be in person, you know?
I feel like that like the remote stuff has been where like I've thrived. Like I have time to make myself food in my own kitchen.
Yeah.
Like I pack a suitcase every time I go to work and then pre-cook everything and then by the time I get there like not have a convection oven or like something
Yeah.
to warm up. I have to microwave it. Like just like little freaking things here and there where you're just like, oh, it's annoying. And like working out and like I took Remy out to the park today. Like we did some agility stuff, like just like things that I wouldn't be able to do if we were remote. Like so I think I say like even like the whatever amount of drive I would have had to do to see you in person for this. Like
45 minutes one way.
yeah, who has time?
Right. Okay. Well, cool. Well, if anything comes to mind, don't hesitate to ask. And on the access to the app, normally that would be a hell no. Um,
you can tell
I'm what's up?
you can tell me hell no.
Look, if I'm
Like
to take
you like that's similar to it even?
no, I mean we went and moved to this one because I didn't like the other 9 that I've used before.
I mean, this one, I'm telling you, I've like, I told you this when I started. I've been with so many different coaches. I've done so many different programs, like, been working out since I was like itty bitty.
Yeah.
This by far is the best app. That's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah, well, it's because it's a build out on top of Trainerize, so it's not just Trainerize. Like there's extra stuff that's built on top of it for it to be utilized in the exact way that I'm using it. And so it's like legitimately for that, not someone taking like a clunky something and trying to squeeze and do the same thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I'm able to look at like everyone's messages to then one person's messages to then jump from your profile to all of the trends across all clients and be able to notice things that I wouldn't normally notice because it's usually just one-on-one or it's one to everyone and you can't see that data broken down like that. But because I have access to that, it also allows me to then, wow, okay, everyone is struggling with this thing around this time this month.
Salesforce, like, but for personal training. I like it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the build out that I'm using, they dropped like a couple $1 million into it last year.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
during the pandemic. So they like built it on top of Trainerize. So it's yeah, it's solid. I really like it. Here's what I will say with access to the app. Not going to cut it off, right? Do what you want with it between now and the time that that you believe that we might be in a spot where you want to get back together. What I will say is that probably 6 months down the road, right, we'll probably be in person and be online. And at some point, I will go in and just clean everybody out. I will let you know. I'll give you a heads up. I'm not going to just randomly one day you'll have it, one day you won't. But normally I would just take people out. However, next handful of months, it really doesn't bother me if you
Okay.
want to just stay there.
I appreciate it. So just to give you like a reasonable thought process. So I've stopped everything. I got good news. I'm gonna close on the land. Super freaking excited about it. There's lots of things I need to schedule
Mhm.
and plan, and the lot doesn't technically exist right now. So I had to get like a temporary contract in place. So um I'm thinking like reasonably like at least a 3-month break.
Yeah.
Um, at the least. If not, maybe more like a 5-month break. I would
Mhm.
like to come back by the end of April would be my goal.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, one day at a time. Keep access to the app. It literally doesn't move the needle on my end, but it could be the thing that allows you to stay on track more than you would without it. So yeah, I mean it's fine. It's all good.
Okay.
Cool. Down with you. All right. No, you cool with that though?
Oh yeah.
The other thing I just wanted to jump into, I would love it if we were cool if we could take from this point moving forward just a little bit about the experience, kind of dive in. I don't expect you to talk for 45 minutes. I don't expect you to talk for 6 minutes straight. I will probably ask a few clarifying questions. If we start to go tangent, but literally it's kind of a word vomit. I'll literally just say, hey, thanks for being here, Jess. And whoosh, the floor is yours. And we'll go from there. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. And you can kind of go into, really we're just looking for epiphany bridge from where you were at to when we were coaching, stuff that happened, how you overcame it, where you're at now, and where you're going from here, like where you're gonna crush and continue to move, and we'll go there. Totally up to you, not scripted, whatever you want to go.
Um, so where I was at was just flat. Flat as a person. Coming off of all my medical stuff and all of my personal stuff, I just had no muscle tone. I was too skinny and then I gained weight and it was just a fluctuating mess. So getting with you, getting on your radar, you coaching me was such a strong decision on my end. And I think I told you that every week in my messages, like, you rock, thank you, like, appreciate you. The coaching itself, though, I liked. We talked earlier about me liking the app. It was something I could do 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock at night. I could do one, I could do two, I could add to it whatever I wanted. It was fun for me to be able to add yoga or dance or walking or something in, or even kayaking into it, just to be like, hey, I did do something. uh, but I did, it was fun to get to see my body just kind of start changing and kind of recognizing like, oh wow, like I am getting muscle. Oh wow, I am in less pain. Oh wow, like I do like the way my clothes are fitting. Oh wow, like I do feel more comfortable. Oh wow, I am hitting my dance goals, like so forth and so on. I overcame a lot emotionally. That's for damn sure. Like when I first started with you, I was dysregulated all over the place. I think I told you at one point, which was my lowest low, that I went out to lunch with a friend and canceled my dinner plans because I barely made it home and like crashed and fell asleep for like 15 hours, like completely almost blacked out. Like, so just to like know, I went from such a low to being able to kind of get through my days and my emotions and my thoughts and my energy like more consistently has been a big deal. Obviously, being officially divorced has very much helped that. I like where I'm at. I've definitely, towards the end of this, found a lot of body imaging that I didn't realize I had. Just kind of preferences, kind of how I view myself, kind of who I am and what I am. Just kind of rewriting some of that, and have appreciated going through the holidays and not felt one way or another about my body, or like felt indifferent of putting something in it versus not putting something in it. And you jump, like kind of like what you say in your stories, you just jump back on it. So it's been nice. I've really appreciated being with you, just overall. And who knows, like maybe through like cycling and like the gym stuff and the yoga stuff and like whatever else I get into, like I'll stay in shape, and when I come back, I'll have some goals for you. Be like, I want to hit those.
Yeah. And I mean, when you came in, you wanted physicality to go up, right? You wanted your mental fortitude to go up. You're kind of in a spot where, hey, everything was not in the greatest spot. But I mean, was there a point throughout the time? I mean, it's been like, I think roughly like 36 weeks, somewhere in there, something.
April.
Say it one more time.
I've been with you since April.
Yeah. So it's been a while. Was there a time in any of that where you were like, damn, I don't know if I can do this. I think I need to not do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to push. And if so, how did you handle that? And if not, how come?
I think originally, like my first month with you, you were sending me workouts that were not hard. Hard. Were not impossible. I remember sitting at my sister's, like freshly moved back to the city, and doing a handful of these workouts and just being like drenched in sweat and like huffing and puffing and just getting halfway through them and like laying on the floor and being like, what is wrong? This is where I'm at. But it was fun just to kind of watch myself keep going that first month, and then hit that 6 weeks, and then hit that 8 weeks. And then after that, I was just like, this works. And I mean, I think you saw that I always reached out to you and was like, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. So, I mean, I did hit some dips like in my own personal life. Just, I've had so much change in the last 9 months with jobs and schedules and 2 jobs and 1 job and moving jobs and just
So much time.
all of the things that I've been going through in my emotions and with just figuring out my new me. So there are definitely days and weeks where I was like, well, I did the best I could, and the best I could was me only showing up for 2 workouts or me getting 1 walk in. And those were not weeks I loved, but giving myself grace and like kind of knowing like the week, the day was going to turn, and I still had my choices to make. Right. So yeah, no, I never like questioned. Actually, it was really, really, really hard for me to tell you I didn't want to keep going, because I told you I was like, I'm a lifer, and it was really hard to sit. And I pushed it off until I literally was like, you have no choice. Like the numbers are there. You have no choice.
Yeah. And so, I mean, before I let you go, I really appreciate you doing this. If someone's on the fence, right, for a challenge, for a 12-week accelerator, for a 6-week challenge, they're like, I don't know if a remote could work for me. I don't know if this coach even knows what the hell he's talking about. I don't know if TruCapacity is a company that can actually help me. Like I've been burned before. I've been in other programs. I've been in tons of other apps. I mean, I feel like you've had a lot of the same similar stories with other things. Like, what would you say to someone like that, male or female, that's kind of on the fence?
I would definitely say viewing myself as an athlete and really appreciating movement and overall health, when, like I grew up in a gym, I grew up with coaches, I grew up with different teams, and I burned out over and over and over again. I had coaches that didn't listen. I had injuries that weren't remediated. And to get to you and to have you look at things from a physical standpoint, a nutrition standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, a knowledge standpoint, a mental standpoint, an emotional standpoint, like, it was really, it was like, without like tearing up, like it was just a beautiful moment for me. I really didn't think I was going to find that without hiring like 4 different people, and I didn't have that money. And to have you in my corner and to be like, hey, I want to like have you, I mean, some of the books you suggested were some of the best books I had in the moment. They projected me in at work, like personally, like conversationally, and at the gym. Like I showed up in ways that I lost my value in. So I guess I always say, like, challenge you. I challenge them to take the risk, because they're not just getting a coach. They're not getting just the workout. They literally can ask you anything. And I know you well enough to know that if you don't know the answer, you're going to find somebody who does, and you're going to be honest. And that's all we can ask for, is like, that's literally the best situation, is like for each person to find their strength and their passion, and then be able to share that, because there are things I'm great at, and there's going to be things that you're great at, and I need you for the things you're great at, because I don't have that time or even interest to learn all of it. So, and you just have a way to break things down, and that just makes sense.